Hey, welcome back to Mobility Project. Today we're working on something near and dear to my heart, which is missing internal rotation. A lot of athletes end up, especially throwing athletes, end up missing a lot of internal rotation. We see a lot of deceleration problems. A lot of our pitching athletes have unreal external rotation, and sometimes when you suck up a lot of range on one side, you're missing a lot of range on the other side. Full range of motion, remember, is like God knew you were going to be a weightlifter. Just talk to Berg, he will confer with that. You should be able to have full internal rotation with the shoulder back. You should be able to press your hand all the way to the stomach. And that's about where the barbell should be pulling. And if we see that missing internal rotation, then that shoulder comes forward, and now I have a host of other problems. So from a throwing mechanic problem, that if I'm throwing or hitting overhead in volleyball, missing internal rotation, I'm going to see the shoulder come forward. It's the same idea we saw with this. So any throwing mechanism where I'm missing this internal rotation, shoulder comes forward to compensate, we have a big problem. One of the other problems is that if I'm stiff to the upper back, as tends to happen with my thick athletes, then instead of setting the abs and going into a global extension moment, I end up tilting. And that tilt ends up with a big kind of a tissue hinge here. And as soon as I tilt, I literally lose my internal rotation. That's as far as I can go with that tilt. And then as soon as I pull my ribcage down, I have full access to my lower scapular stabilizers, which pulls the whole complex down. So oftentimes it's not an issue of, hey, I'm missing full internal rotation here, but it's an issue of I'm missing kind of systemic internal rotation, and that's because I have a fault. So as my athletes are throwing, we want to have abs on. I'm creating extension so that I'm powerful, but I'm not breaking and tilting. And when we see this broken mechanic, this is no different than an overhead form fault. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to work on some extension. Got my trusty kettlebell blue foam roller. Let's work on getting the arms overhead, lowering from the other side. So today what we're going to do is lock the arms out, get tight, arms straight, lower your abs from the other side and hang. What you're going to find is we're hitting extension, but we're going to work on any of the tissues that may be limiting. This feels more like a stretch, like a joint mobilization. Hang, contract, relax, release, keep tensioning, tight, release, keep tensioning, and you're going to feel all the intercostals, all that stuff. That's homework number one. Homework number two. Anchor that shoulder back with a band. That's what's going to keep this back. I want to mobilize in a good position. So I'm going to wind up, shoulder stays back, put the hand behind the back. You see how that shoulder gets pulled back where I want it? And then, with my other hand, I'm going to pull across into some abduction, tight, and then wind that thing up, and then I'm going to tie my neck into that corner too. So hang out here 2-3 minutes. This is a big, nasty piece. The band holds the shoulder back. Then I wind it up across my body. Hang out, add the tension of the neck at the last second. Let's get a couple of minutes here. And then finally, hands up. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, slight bend in the arms, don't hyperextend. You see how the hyperextension is the same thing as shoulder coming forward. So lock the shoulders back, slide those hands together, get tight, and then we're just going to hang, get some distraction, those joints contract, relax, really working on some of the tissues in the front. That's what we're thinking today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.